have you got all the leaders at every level in your organization focused on the right levers? Hello, it's Sonsino here. I've just spent the entire week at the Indian School of Business helping a company build a manifesto for the way forward, helping it to, as one of the guys said, reduce its planning phase by about 6 weeks, and also make sure that all the company's goals and objectives are driven down to the last mile, rather like a telephone cable, if you like, from the center of the universe to the last mile, right to the handset at the end of the line. And I wanted to share with you my thoughts on 3 frameworks from 3 books that I value really highly, that might make some use, might be some use to you, that might help you to do the same thing. And the first book that I want to tell you a little bit about is The Performance Pipeline. It's a follow-up to The Leadership Pipeline by Ram Charan and Stephen Drotter. The Performance Pipeline is by Stephen Drotter, and the subtitle is Getting the Right Performance from Every Level of Leadership. And the point that the guys make in the book is that have you got all the leaders at every level in your organization focused on the right levers? Let me give you an example of what I mean. If you've got individual contributors, self-managers at the lower levels of your organization, the people who actually do the work, then their focus is on their own effort to deliver the results that they are tasked with. But of course, they also need to collaborate with their peers. And that's something that I think people forget. So they work through their own effort, they're an individual contributor, but they have to collaborate with their peers. Also, these folks need to understand how their work ties into the overall goals of the organization. And that also is something that I think we forget when we're coaching them, when we're delegating to them. Make sure the individual contributors know how their work fits into the overall scheme of things, into the pipeline, if you like, into the supply chain of performance, and also ensure that they are trained, comfortable with, understand the reason why they must collaborate with others. Now, above the individual contributor, above the self-manager, you've got a manager. So the manager of others, manager of self-managers, manager of individual contributors, works through the individual contributor. Their role, their objective is to ensure that the work of others is up to scratch. Now, sometimes the managers of others are people who used to do that works, and they love it. Finding the ability to let go of the work, to manage others. That's your tough challenge with the managers of others. If you're a manager of others, you've got to let go of the task and encourage the people that work with you to function at their limits, at the peak of their ability. Now, above the manager of others are managers of managers, and this is a critical shift. You become the best accountant, you become the best engineer, then you're promoted to managing engineers. Well, now when you get promoted beyond that, at that next level, you're a manager of managers. And the Performance Pipeline makes this extremely clear. Your goal is to work through managers. That means you need to know how management works, how leadership works. You need to become a leadership expert. If people call you, why do they call you? It's not because you're an engineer, it's because of your work as a manager, the information that you have or need to demonstrate there. So that is something that I think folks seriously forget to engage with. Beyond the manager of managers, you have function managers whose interest is in being the best finance function, the best engineering function, the best operations function. So your goal as that functional manager is to know what world-class function management looks like. What is it like? What do you have to do to become a world-class finance function, a world-class operations function? And then share that information around. Above that, you're into business management. So your tasks, according to Stephen Drotter, become much more about integration. The integration of those functions, busting of the silos between the barriers between finance and engineering, finance and sales, finance and operations. Sorry to mention finance, I've just been working with these guys. Above that, you're talking about the collaboration between business managers. So if you're an enterprise manager, your goal is how do I link the different groups together, and how do I make sure that we are functioning at world world-class level. So, if you want to make sure the system of managers in your organization works and how performance at every level works, you need to be very clear in your own mind what is it that managers at each level in the organization are doing, and how can you ensure they're doing the right thing. Make sure that self-managers are concentrating on delivering the best effort in their particular function, but make sure that they're collaborating between each other, between other members of the organization. And also clients, they're going to be working at the very front line of the organization. They need to know how to get things done, how to collaborate with their clients and customers. If you're managing a contributor, then do you know how to encourage, motivate, and make sure they understand where they fit in the overall puzzle of performance? Above that, you become a manager, a leader of leaders, a manager of managers. Do you know what the best managers, the best leaders are capable of doing? So it seems to me that the performance pipeline is a fantastic model, a fantastic framework to help you figure out what you need to do in the leadership arena. So that's the overall framework, if you like, for what you need to do. But then you need to get in touch with how do we make projects work. And a framework I found that really helps is called the 4 Disciplines of Execution. The 4 Disciplines of Execution, written by Chris McChesney, Sean Covey, and Jim Hewling, sets out a powerful framework to help people execute. So the framework is composed of 4 disciplines, cunningly buried in the title. And the first discipline is focusing on not just the important goals of the organization, but the wildly important goals. What are the 2 or 3, no more than that, what are the 2 or 3 key things that you need to distinctly focus on that would make a huge, huge difference? So you need to get the team together. That's what I've been doing this week. Get the team together to focus on the 1 or 2 wildly important goals that your team, your organization needs to focus on. Secondly, ask the question, how do we deliver those? Because you can't simply say if your wildly important goal is to sell more, collaborate with the regulator. That's a kind of an open-ended, massive task. It's difficult to know what to do. So the second discipline is identify the inline goals. What are the things that you can focus on that if you focus on the inline goals, they're going to influence the outcome? They're going to be easy to track because you can put a number on those. So those inline goals need to very carefully say, we are going to move from X to Y by when? There's a date, a deadline in there. A phrase that I've been using recently is, how do you turn things into projects? You can't just simply say, be the best in our industry. That would be a wildly important goal, perhaps. It's not specific enough for me. The inline goals behind that might be sell more, achieve more, by such and such a date. So definitely think about how you can create predictive, influenceable measures, these inline goals, and get your teams to concentrate on the inline goals. Yes, we're going to sell more. Yes, we're going to become the best in the industry. Yes, we're going to have much better water quality if you're a water company, for example. Focus on the inline goals. Wildly important goals supported by inline goals. The third discipline is create a compelling scoreboard. How do you visibly show the team where they are? You've got to be, as the leader of a team, the GPS for the team. They have to know exactly where they are at every step of the way. So make sure that your phone doesn't ring while you're creating a video. It's my alarm to tell me that I'm running a little bit over on this video, but I'm going full throttle, so I'm going to carry on. Focus on the wildly important goals. Make sure that you have inline goals that support those. Create a compelling scoreboard so that people can see exactly where they're at in the whole GPS of the overall project. And then you've got to make sure that there is a cascade of accountability, that everyone in line that you're responsible for knows what the big goal is, the wildly important goal, the big wig. I might use that in future. And then the inline goals that are influenceable, that are, if you drive those forward, they will deliver the goal at the end of the quarter or at the end of the year. So a weekly WIG meeting, not very long, 20 minutes, half an hour. I know some of you watching do daily huddles. So make sure, not just how's it going, boss, it's fine. That's utterly useless as an accountability meeting. So make sure that folks are saying, if you've got to sell 3 new clients into the business in the next 3 months? How many cups of coffee have you had with the client to close the deal? How many team meetings have you had to discuss progress? So those trackable things make it absolutely possible to make sure that if you have those cups of coffee, the inline goals, that you're likely to be delivering the larger, wild, important goal towards the end of the project. So take a look at the 4 disciplines of execution. Make sure that you are crafting with your people wildly important goals. Those are supported by 2 or 3 inline goals, very, very specific, from X to Y, by when. Make sure there's a compelling scoreboard that tracks overall progress, and that you're having weekly WIG meetings to see exactly how much people are working on those inline goals. Now, beyond that, you've got a big framework that shows you exactly what everybody in the system is doing. Everyone in the organization knows where they fit, what they're focusing on. Everybody in the organization knows what their wildly important goals are and how they fit into the overall project for the organization. Everybody knows what their inline goals are. It's inevitable, though, that things are going to get in the way. And there's a book called Crucial Accountability from Kerry Patterson, Joseph Grenny, Ron McMillan and Al Switzler that you might like to take a look at. It contains, and here's the subtitle, Tools for Resolving Broken Promises, Violated Expectations and Bad Behavior. So this is, what do you do when stuff goes wrong? So there are a number of powerful frameworks and ideas in here about making sure that people stay on track. It is about ensuring crucial accountability. And one of the models, one of the frameworks in here is really significant, and I'm desperately trying to find it. It's about having a conversation with people and trying to unpack with them where are the barriers that are stopping things happening, and what are the things driving it forward that we might need to spend a little more time on. So it's about identifying what are the barriers, hurdles that we need to overcome, what are the bridges that can help and support the project going forward, where are the other people that can help you get this through, where are the other people that appear to be hindering you, and how can you maybe build bridges to those people. And also with the individual themselves, what are the things that are holding you back? What are the limiting beliefs that you have? And where are the strengths that you have that maybe you're not deploying to full advantage? So there are some frameworks at every level in the organization. How do you help the individuals in your team to get stuff done? Sometimes I wonder if leadership is too much about the big abstract goals, becoming the best organization in the industry, but not actually offering enough tangible, practical help. Projectize your business, projectize your function, projectize your team. Make sure everybody knows what they are doing. It's not about building commitment with others, it's about meeting others first time and explaining what we do, how can we help you. Turn everything into smaller, trackable projects, and I think you'll find everyone able to work faster, better and stronger in the business. If you want to deliver more business, better business sooner, you could do far worse than get hold of 3 books and actually apply them in the business. The performance pipeline, get the right performance at every level of leadership. Make sure everybody knows what they're meant to be doing. Sometimes I think we're playing at the wrong level. Make sure that you apply the 4 disciplines of execution. What are the wildly important goals? How do we achieve those? The inline goals are the things that you can influence. If you concentrate on having cups of coffee with people, you're much more likely to convert them to buyers of your tools, services, whatever that might be. Create the compelling scoreboard so folks know exactly where they're at in the overall framework, and then have weekly WIG meetings, weekly goal meetings to check progress. Not just overall progress, how are we doing, guys? Very specific progress. How many cups of coffee have you had with your clients this week? Beyond that, if things start going a little bit wrong, and of course because you've got these weekly meetings or daily huddles, if you have them, you know whether people are holding themselves accountable. Well, you can help them stay crucially accountable by asking, where are you at on those inline goals? Where are the barriers to achieving those inline goals, and who are the people who can help you achieve them? So I urge you, projectize your business life. Projectize your leadership style. Don't just be a general, fluffy kind of manager or leader. Be very specific about the things that you need to do and that your people need to do, and you will become even more successful than you already are. Hope this has been of some use to you. Let me know how useful when you apply them. Unless you do anything or do anything differently as a result of watching this and applying the tools, then it's maybe been a few minutes out of your life. Maybe it's been insightful, but it's been completely useless. The rubber hits the road now. Do something or do something differently, and let me know how you do. If I can answer any questions about how to apply it once you're trying, let me know. I will not let you fail in applying this stuff. Don't be a barrier. Don't let your own application problems, oh, it's not quite working as I thought it would. Call me, email me, and I'll do what I can to help you. Listen, thanks for watching. I appreciate there are 1,001 other things you could do with your day. Take care. Look forward to working with you again soon. This is Stephen Sonsino trying to finish this video. I don't know how to stop. How should I stop? Well, that worked.